We're about to dive into a 3,000-year-old text that is, and this might surprise you, one of the most powerful blueprints for a genuine apology ever written. Seriously, this isn't just some ancient prayer. We're going to treat Psalm 51 as a masterclass in what it truly means to be sorry.
And the whole thing builds to this just stunning conclusion. The core idea is that the most valuable thing you can offer after you've messed up isn't an excuse or a promise, it's your own brokenness. What a radical concept, right? So let's see how he gets there.
Okay, first, we need some context, because this isn't just abstract poetry. It's the private, anguished prayer of King David after a massive public scandal. He committed adultery with a woman named Bathsheba and then had her husband killed to cover it all up. These words are born from rock bottom, from that moment of total personal failure after the prophet Nathan called him out on it.
So how does the apology even begin? Well, it starts with a brutal, unflinching confession. Just think about the public apologies we hear today, right? They're so often filled with buts and justifications or wishy-washy language. David does the exact opposite. There's no blaming anyone else, it's just a masterclass in taking total, complete ownership.
And notice the rhythm he creates here. He starts with the specifics, my transgressions. It's not vague at all. He's taking full possession of his actions. It's mine. And he just keeps going. He doesn't stop there. My iniquity. It's this relentless beat of self-implication, acknowledging just how crooked what he's done really is.
And finally, my sin. He internalizes it completely. This isn't just something that happened to him. It's something that is now a part of him, and he says it's always on his mind.
Now here's the crucial point. He obviously harmed people. Bathsheba, her husband Uriah, no question. But he recognizes his actions as an offense against a higher moral law, against God himself. He gets that his sin wasn't just some social blunder, but a fundamental violation of what is right and wrong.
Okay, now we get to the emotional core of the whole psalm. This isn't just him asking for a legal pardon, like, okay, am I off the hook? No, this is a desperate cry to be scrubbed clean from the inside out, and he uses some incredibly physical and honestly visceral language to do it.
Listen to these verbs he uses. Blot out, like you're wiping ink off a page. Wash away, like a stain you can't get out. Cleanse. These are not passive words. He is begging for a deep, transformative, almost violent act of purification.
And this line just brilliantly illustrates how deep his desire is. Hyssop was a plant they used in purification rituals back then. But he goes even further. He asks to be washed whiter than snow, a level of purity that's almost unnatural, something beyond what even nature can produce.
Wow, what a powerful line. This shows that his guilt isn't just a mental thing for him, it's a physical agony. He feels it in his very bones, as if they've literally been crushed by the weight of what he's done. Forgiveness, for him, would be a physical healing. Okay, here it is. Here comes the pivot. This is the moment the entire psalm turns. He shifts his focus from erasing the past to building an entirely new future. And this is probably the most critical step in the anatomy of this apology.
This is the line, right here. He's not just asking for a clean slate. He's asking for a whole new engine. He recognizes that the problem wasn't just his actions, but the heart that produced those actions. He's asking to be fundamentally remade so he won't go down that same road again.
And this new way of thinking, this new heart, leads to a totally radical redefinition of religious practice. You see, in his time, the expected way to atone for something was through animal sacrifice. But David realizes that just going through the motions with all these external rituals means absolutely nothing if the inside hasn't changed.
And here he just says it, plain as day. He's basically saying, look, if I could fix this by just performing a ritual, believe me, I would. But I know that's not what you're really after. The only thing of value he has left to offer is his own brokenness, his genuine remorse. That is the true sacrifice.
So where does all this lead? Well, this final section shows that for David, forgiveness isn't the end of the story. Not at all. It's the beginning. It's the foundation for a renewed life where his greatest failure becomes his most powerful message.
And you can see this clear progression here. First, he asks for his own joy to be restored, but he doesn't stop there. The moment he's healed, he immediately pivots outward. His new mission becomes teaching others based on his own experience of failure and grace. So the psalm ends not in quiet shame, but in loud public praise. The journey that began in the darkness of a guilty secret, it concludes with a promise to sing and shout about the goodness he's experienced. His private brokenness becomes a public testimony. And so,
This 3,000-year-old text leaves us with a question that's as relevant today as it ever was. In our own lives, right? In our own relationships, what is the real difference between just saying the words "I'm sorry" and embodying the kind of deep, transformative contrition that we see right here in the psalm?